Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, I'm Kimberly Brock, and for the last 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. And so now I'm on a mission to help other women just like you do the exact same thing. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, this is Kimberly. I'm your host. It's episode 26, and I wanted to thank you so much for being here. For those of you that have been listening a while, you'll notice that I don't have any ads on my podcast episodes, and I want to keep it that way. So what I'm going to be doing is sponsoring myself on the episodes. So I have just built a new page on my website. There's a link in the show notes. Just scroll down. It will go to my coaching and training sessions. There's 3 ways that we can actually work together. The first one is I've got self-paced workshops that I'm just about to release, which I'm so excited about. And my very first one is what business should I start, which is for people that are still trying to scramble and figure out which exact business is best for them. So it's a great process. And I'm so excited that's coming out soon. And then I've got group workshops that are coming out soon. So we'll do kind of a mastermind/workshop sessions for those of you that are starting your business, and I can help you through that. And then the third way is one-on-one sessions. So I have them there on the page, and I'm so excited if you check it out because I know all of you are just trying to make money doing what you love and do everything right. And I want to help you be strategic and set yourself up for success. So that is it. I hope you enjoy this episode. Well, hello. I'm so glad that you are here today. This episode is so revealing to me, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So I have a question for you. Have you ever noticed that sometimes your greatest breakthroughs, aha moments, or creative thoughts come at the oddest times, like when you're in the shower or when you just woke up, or maybe you're laying out in the sun, or you're just sitting at a coffee shop? Have you ever noticed that that's happened to you? Well, I have. It's crazy. 2 business big aha moments I can think of, happened to me when I first woke up in the morning. One was when I was trying to make a shift in my online boutique, and I realized when I woke up, I had been worried about this for 2 years. What should I do? Should I close it? Should I not close it? Should I keep going? Should I invest a whole bunch of money into a new marketing manager and all kinds of campaigns? And how was I going to shift the business? Did I need to hire more employees? And it hit me that morning that I couldn't even think about all of that because I didn't have time because I was too busy running the business every day. And I realized I had the power to stop the business that day. I woke up, got out of bed, got my coffee, went to my laptop, opened it up. I had a Shopify store. Went on there, opened up my online store, created a big full-page banner for my website that said to all my wonderful customers, we have to let you know that we are no longer taking new orders. We will be taking care of every customer that has an outstanding order, which I did. Everybody was taken care of. I even gave an option for some customers to email me their orders because we had a lot of great customers that continually bought from us and I didn't want them to be left in the dark. So I put that up, I shut my laptop, and I had the biggest weight lifted off my shoulder because I now had time to really think about what I wanted to do with my future, which is where I am now. But I needed time to think and I couldn't even ponder it because I didn't have time because I was so caught up in this day-to-day of this business. I never had a moment to think and really have solitude and give myself due diligence in figuring out what I want to do, if I wanted to keep the business or not. Ultimately, I didn't, but you can see that this idea came to me when I first woke up in the morning. Another one that happened was when I was trying to name this podcast. I could not think of a name for the life of me. I had whiteboards around our house with names. I had other people brainstorming with me. I had awesome names I came up with that were already trademarked, so I couldn't use those. This went on for months and months, and I woke up one day and said, what should this name be? I mean, who is it for? It's for these women. She's just getting started. Jumped out of bed and said, that's it. And I went and was so excited. And, I registered the domain name, registered the podcast name. I was off and running and it was so exciting. But that came to me when I woke up in the morning. So I want to ask you, have you ever had those moments where you've just woken up in the morning or had an aha moment where you were somewhere and it came to you and you were like, oh my gosh, I figured it out? Well, think about it because it's kind of funny now when you think back of when these ideas will come to you. And it's actually based on science. So let me explain real quick. When you think of creativity, you're probably thinking of artists, musicians, maybe chefs, people who create things, writers. But honestly, in your everyday life and your business, you're having to be creative way more than you realize. You're coming up with marketing campaigns. You're coming up with namings of things. You're coming up with maybe graphics or color ideas, with podcast episodes, with Instagram or Facebook posts. You're coming up with all kinds of ideas all the time. Well, there's actually science to when in your day is best for you to come up with creative ideas. Now, they say, according to science, as most people, it's based on their circadian rhythms and their hormones of when you feel best. And most people say, I feel best at, in the morning or at night. And so thus people are doing creative work at those times, which actually is not as effective. So being productive and being creative are two separate things. Being productive is when you're focused and you're at your peak state and you're feeling great and you have the most energy and you can just knock things out. A lot of people, that's in the morning. But then there's creative time, which comes to you better when you are a little more open. You're not as focused. You're not as zoned in. You're open to new ideas. And that, again, is when you're most creative. They did some studies on people and found that for the most part, there's 15% of the population are morning people, like strong morning people. 20% of the population is strong night people. They call them owls. So 20% of the people are strong owls, and the rest is somewhere in the middle. They call it a third bird or something funny like that. So do you consider yourself more of a night owl or a morning lark? Now, me, I think of myself as a morning lark. They say morning people get up before 6 a.m. I get up at 6:30, but I'm still going to consider myself a morning person because that is when I am the most energetic. I can get so much done in the morning. You've heard my other podcast episodes. If you haven't, about productivity, I'll put the links in the show notes to explain how I do my day. But basically, I work out in the mornings because I know that I need to get that done and I feel the best. I have the most energy. And then I knock out a lot of work in the morning and get it done. For people that are night people, they find that maybe their most productive work is at night and they can work out at night, which is just crazy to me because I'm so tired at night. But this is the funny thing. Your creative optimal time is actually the reverse of when you're most productive. So, for example, me, I'm a morning person, a lark, and I'm most productive in the mornings. But it says, according to these scientific studies, which I have the links, you can read more, that I'm better off being creative probably in the afternoons and evenings when I'm a little more tired because then I'm more open. I'm not as focused. And that's when I can start making these neuropath connections. Oh my gosh, it's so complicated, but it's so interesting that the purpose of creativity is to create new connections, right? And so you need to be a little more tired and open to be able to make those connections, because when you're focused, you're already making these like spot on connections and you're so zoned in. So I thought that was super interesting. So if you're a night person and you're real productive at night, but you find yourself groggy in the mornings for a longer period of time than other people, those may be your hours to be creative, whatever you're trying to come up with ideas for. And I just find this fascinating because then I started thinking about this even more. So even besides the episodes that I've told you about where I came up with my aha moments right when I woke up in the morning, is that for producing content for this podcast, I have to be creative. I've never been a content creator in my life. This is the first time I've ever been doing this on a regular basis. And so normally I was just getting up one day and I would do it all in one day. I would get up in the morning, work out or whatever, do my research, start outlining. And then by the afternoon or evening, I would be recording it. And then inevitably, I'm not kidding, I would go to bed and I'd be in bed at night going, oh my gosh, I should have said this. I should have done that. And I would have to get up, re-record in the morning. And it just was always frustrating because then I had to re-record it. Well, one time by accident, I was creating the episode. So again, I don't write all the words that I'm saying. I just do a sketched outline. And I was researching and I did it in the evening. And I knocked it out super fast and I came up with my plan. I got up the next morning. I worked out. When I was in my productive mode, I got on the microphone, went through my outline, and bam, recorded my episode. And I was like, that was the easiest system I've had yet. And it wasn't that long ago. And I'm on episode 26 now. And so now I'm doing it again and again because I'm finding, which I didn't realize it was because of this whole creativity thing, was that I was able to craft it, like the creative part, the writing, the outline at night when I'm more tired, and then knock it out and record it in the morning. Y'all, this is big. So I want you to think about this in your life and start noticing when you're having your aha moments, when you're being creative. And let's start tying it to your circadian rhythm and really figure out a system, an intentional system for you to be more creative and more productive in your day. So here is what I want you to do. I'm going to leave you with some to-dos so that you can figure this out. I want you to first figure out, are you a morning person or a night person? Okay. And when do you find that you're able to get the most work done? Okay. And those are going to be your productivity hours. And I want you to start logging, and maybe it's mental, maybe you just start noticing, but it would be nice if you wrote it on paper or even a Google Doc. Some people go so far as every hour logging real quick what they got done and if it was more productive, like analytical, or if it was more creative, so that you can start seeing a pattern over like a week of when you see the time of day that you're more creative and coming up with ideas versus doing analytical focused work. Okay. So you're going to keep a log. And then what you can even do is switch it up, really test your theory and switch it. And the next day, do your productive work at the opposite time of day and do your creative work when you're groggy. Now, again, let me explain. As I said, when you first wake up, you're groggy. So if you're a morning person like me, your creative time has a very short window in the morning. Whereas if you're a night person, you may have a longer window of creativity in the morning, okay? So you're going to do that. You're going to switch it up. And now you need to have a way to capture and record your ideas. So for me, when I'm on a walk, I will have my iPhone and I have the Notes app or voice memos. So if I come up with podcast episode ideas or wording for some things I'm creating on a website or an offer, I will write it there, type it, or do a voice memo. You can also put a pen and paper by your bed. One guy I saw online, he said, I thought this cracked me up. He always had these revelations when he was in the shower. So he has a dry erase pen in his shower and he writes it on the glass window when he thinks of things, which is genius because I've had stuff come to me and then like 20 minutes later, completely forgot. And I knew it was the greatest idea in the entire world. And now I've lost it and I don't even remember it and it's gone. So don't let that happen to you. Make sure you have a way of recording it. If it's a Google Doc, if it's a pen and paper, if it's a whiteboard, if it's a bulletin board, if it's a pen and paper by your bed, whatever it is, have a way to capture your moments because they are fleeting. You don't always have these creative moments, so you've got to capture them. And then what I want you to do is start, once you've seen this consistent pattern of when you're creative and when you're productive, start planning your days that way. Say, okay, I'm going to work in the morning, do all my productive stuff. I'm going to work out because that's when I feel good. I'm going to get all my hard work done in the morning. And then I get to have fun and be creative in the afternoon and be thinking about and crafting and writing and doing these things in the afternoon or the evening. And even right before bed, if you come up with something, it very likely can happen. So notice those short little windows. So plan ahead and then try to keep it consistent where you work this way every day, because they said it actually helps you to be consistent with the patterns of production and creativity. So I hope this enlightened you. It sure enlightened me. I still can't believe it that I didn't realize that creativity comes when you're more open, you're less focused, and you can just let connections be made in your brain that normally wouldn't connect. And then you can be productive and focused at other times of day, because I'm sure in your business or whatever you're doing, there are times of day when you need to be more productive, and there's some moments when you need to be creative. And I also wanted to say, if you are a female and you are running your own business, or maybe you're just starting one, I would love for you to be a part of our insiders group. We've got women all building businesses, doing what they love, trying to take the right steps. And it's a great resource for you. And I would love for you to be a part of the group. So you can scroll down right now in the show notes and you can click the link to join. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day. Bye now. Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.